So, remember last month when I hauled 34 books and I said that I was going to be on a book buying ban this month? Well, that didn't happen. Today we're going to be hauling some books, and precisely we will be hauling 17 books. In my humble defense, Chapters had a sale on. If you bought 3 books, you got another one for free. So I stocked up. My husband also got like 4 books. So, you know, I didn't do that bad. Out of my 17 books this month, I got 14 fiction, 2 nonfiction, and a coloring book. The first book I'm going to talk about is This Beautiful Creature. This is Zoe de la Case's coloring book, Secret Paris. I really wanted a coloring book because it's been put in my head that the most wonderful thing you can do is listen to an audiobook and do a little adult coloring, and those people are totally right. I totally am head over heels with the concept of adult coloring books, because sometimes all you want to do is color. You don't want to draw it and then color, you just want to color. Now, the reason I picked this one up over the Enchanted Forest and all of the other adult coloring books is because I thought it was more my style of art, something that I would hang up after I would color it, which, don't get me wrong, is totally awesome and totally true about this book, because, like, look, how freaking cute is that? But honestly, I'll probably only finish coloring like a 5th of this book, because if you're planning on buying this, just beware that it's very sketchy, if you will. A lot of the lines aren't defined and stuff, so while it makes really beautiful art, it's not the best for coloring. It's supposed to calm you, and I'm pretty stressed when I color this book because I'm like, where are the lines going? What am I supposed to color? Is this a tree or is it the sky? I don't know. The 2 nonfiction books I got this month, I have been absolutely dying to read, both of them. The first one is Undeniable by Bill Nye, the science guy. This is a wonderful book so far. I'm about like 100 pages in, and it's impressing me quite a bit. This is a book that is about evolution and the science of creation. It sprouted from an argument, not an argument, but a debate that Bill Nye had with creationist Ken Ham a while ago. It is a super interesting debate if you want to go watch it. I believe it's on YouTube. I'll link it down below if I can find it somewhere. It's really interesting, and I mean, I probably enjoy it more because I am not a creationist. I am a believer in evolution. So I don't want to start like YouTube wars here, but if you feel as though you would be interested in it, I would definitely check it out. The only problem I have with it so far is that it's very basic, which if you don't know a lot about evolution is really great, but I've read a lot of books on it before, and I watch a lot of documentaries and TED Talks and stuff about evolution and evolutionism versus creationism. So a lot of what is mentioned in here I've already heard about and thought about a lot, but it's a good refresher, and it's definitely good if you haven't read a lot about evolution before. So if you've watched pretty much any of my videos in the past, you know that I am a big lover of Sylvia Plath, and especially her novel The Bell Jar. It is written, it's semi-autobiographical about a summer she spent in New York, working for a fashion magazine, getting her, writing career off to start, and then everything that followed those events. So I picked this up. It's called Pain, Parties, and Work, Sylvia Plath, New York, summer of 1953, and it is by Elizabeth Winder. This is apparently kind of supposed to be like a companion book to The Bell Jar. It is filled with interviews of people who knew Sylvia Plath at that time in her summer in New York. The author does interviews with them and finds out more about Sylvia Plath and her life and what was really going on, rather than just what Sylvia documented going on. So I'm really looking forward to reading this, and hopefully it'll open more doors that I didn't already know about in The Bell Jar. And yeah, super excited about this. I got it for like $3, I think, at Chapters, which is just It's just incredible. So in general, I'm not a big teen fiction reader, but for some reason, this month was a big teen fiction month for me. I got 6 teen fiction books, which, I mean, on a monthly basis, I usually get 1 or none. I just kind of moseyed on over to the teen fiction section, found an employee, really nice lady, and asked her if she had any suggestions. It took about half an hour for her to go through the whole teen fiction section and just rave about all these books that I haven't read yet. And, you know, it made me pick up a few, made me think a little bit more about teen fiction, quite possibly. So I got a few. Some of them are my husband's as well, because he was with me at the time. Everyone's heard about this already, but it's going to be a movie soon, so I wanted to pick it up and read it before, you know, I happened across the movie. I'm not like too pumped about the movie. It's nothing I really want to see, but I don't know, there's a lot of hype around it, so I thought I might check it out, and that is Me, Earl, and the Dying Girl by Jessie Andrews. I don't know, a lot of people like this. Girl at the bookstore really liked it. Heather likes it, so, I mean, what's not to like about it? Pretty excited to read it. Next, in the teen fiction section, I picked up Hollow City by Harrison-Rickert. This is the second book in the Miss Peregrines? I've never said it out loud before. Peregrines? I don't know. You tell me how this is said. I read it last summer, I think, the first one, and I really liked it. So I finally picked up the second one. I've been meaning to for a real long time. I just started it today and read like 50 pages in a few minutes. So yeah, it's looking pretty good so far. I had to do a little hair change because it's friggin' hot in here. So next I got Servants of the Storm by Delilah S. Dawson. My husband actually surprised me with this book one day when he went to chapters by himself. I guess he felt bad for cheating on me and going without me, so he bought me some books. But this looks pretty good. It's teen fiction again. It's about a hurricane that swipes through a town, a girl dies, and that girl's best friend, I believe, starts seeing her in their favorite cafe and everything. It looks pretty good, kinda, I'm not sure if it's like magical realism or what it is, but it looks good. Next is Airborne by Kenneth Opel. I'm not actually sure if this is a middle grade or a teen fiction book because it's my husband's and he picked it up, but it does sound really interesting. It's about balloon pilots and they see like weird stuff in the sky or something like that. I don't know, but he's really into it. Next in the teen fiction category, I got No One Else Can Have You by Kathleen Hale. Lastly, for teen fiction, I got Charlie Higgins' The Enemy. This is actually, again, my husband's book, but it does look really interesting. It's about kind of, I'm not sure if it's a zombie virus or just a virus that hits only people who I think have like hit puberty. I think it's everyone under 14 is safe. So it's basically a society of kids. Kind of reminds me of like Lord of the Flies a little bit, so interesting to read. Another book my husband picked up in the science fiction section is Wastelands. It is a collection of short stories about the apocalypse? Yes, about the apocalypse. Lots of good ones in here by Stephen King, George R.R. Martin. Really good science fiction writers, and you know, something that I'll probably mosey on through once my husband's done with it. Looks like there's gonna be lots of good stuff in it. Pretty sure like most of my books this month are pretty popular books. I've kind of noticed that theme. So I don't know. I don't usually read very popular books because hype kind of puts me off sometimes because it gets me so riled up, and then I read the book and I'm like, wasn't as good as I thought it was. So I generally don't read hyped up books because of that. I know it's like just like some deep-seated psychological issue that I'm dealing with because most of these books are probably really great, but I tend to stay away from them. But I've kind of veered from that this month, and that started with The Martian by Andy Weir. I've heard just rave reviews about this from almost everyone that has read it. Everyone that I follow on all the social media and BookTube and everything has really liked it. It is, in case you haven't heard about it yet, which I think is impossible, it's about a manned mission to Mars. Something goes wrong, I believe it's a sandstorm or something, and one of the astronauts is believed dead, left behind, and he's not actually dead, so he's stranded on Mars. So I'm hoping this is good. Next, I got Robogenesis by Daniel H. Wilson. I just recently, last month, read Robopocalypse by him. This is the sequel to it. I'm not sure about this because Robopocalypse was resolved pretty well, and I think this might just be a money grab of a second book. It kind of sounds like it. It's just like, it's been 3 years since Robopocalypse, but then something else comes. So, I don't know. I bought it because I liked Robopocalypse, so I'm hoping it's not just a money grab, and I'm hoping it is something really good and it's a gem. But I don't have the highest hopes for it. But I'll let you know. Another book I picked up this month that is really, really hyped is All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. I wasn't going to read this, but then I read The Shell Collector by him, and it is just magnificent. It's definitely one of my favorite reads so far of this year, and probably of all time. He has just beautifully magnificent writing, and I can't wait to read this. I don't know too much about it. I know it's Second World War, I believe, and there's like a natural history museum. I'm not really sure too much, but like, I mean, look at all these stickers on here. There's like stickers all over it. People are really excited about it, and I'm excited about it now because, I mean, The Shell Collector, if you have not read that, people, and you have read this, go read The Shell Collector. It's a collection of short stories by him that just blew my mind. Next, I grabbed Me Talk Pretty One Day by David Sedaris. I've been told over and over again that since I liked, what's it called, like Exploring Diabetes with Owls? I want to say it's called. The one with diabetes and owls in the title. I really like that one. Another collection of essays. So I picked this one up, and I'm excited to read it. I hear it's a lot better than the one I read. So yeah, I love this man's style of writing, and I love this man's life and everything about him, so I'm just super pumped to read this. Next, I have The Marriage Plot by Jeffrey Eugenides. He is the author of The Virgin Suicides, one of my all-time favorite books, and I haven't read anything else of his. And I hear this is good, not as good as Middlesex, but they didn't have that at the bookstore, so I picked this one up instead. I think it follows 3 people as they leave school and kind of like face the real world. I'm not too sure, but you've probably heard about it before, so I'm pumped to read that because I hope it surpasses The Virgin Suicides. Even if it comes close, I would still be very happy with it. Next book I got was Make Something Up by Chuck Palahniuk. This is his latest collection of short stories. I talked about this in my previous video, and I believe the video before that as well, but I haven't hauled it officially yet. It's good. It's decent. It's like 50-50. There's half really good, half really bad in here. I mean, don't let that deter you because the good ones in here are definitely worth it, and I really enjoyed reading it. So yeah, good purchase. Lastly, I picked up Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. I have kind of been avoiding this book because, again, really super hyped book. So I know that it probably won't live up to my expectations of it, but it was like 60% off at my grocery store, so I figured I'd give it a try. I don't really like thrillers too much, but I mean, I've heard other people say that, and then they love this book, so I really can't wait to read it. It's looking good. So guys, that's my book haul for this month. I'm not even going to say that I'm going to try and be on a book buying ban for next month because it won't work, and I'll end up with another 20 books. You're just going to have to expect that from me because I am just like crazy when it comes to buying books. Thankfully, I didn't go on Book Outlet this month, so that cut my costs and my books by quite a bit, but there's no saying I won't next month. So thank you all so much for watching. If any of you have read any of these, which you probably have because a lot of them are super hyped and just all over the place, tell me what you think of them and whether or not you think I'd like them. I pretty much bought all of them just because they're so hyped, and I don't know, I just like black out and I just end up with like an armful of books, and that's just my life. Thank you all for liking, commenting, and subscribing. And by the way, happy Canada Day soon. Like 2 days from now or something. I don't know what the date is. But it's Canada Day. Yay! Canada! Remember to read some Canadian literature next month. And, you know, no matter where you live, treat yourself with some Canadian literature. Bye, guys. Also, do you see my shirt? Look, it's like, this is Poe, this is Lovecraft, and they're like in Pulp Fiction with the things, the guns, but he's got like a raven, and he's got like a monster. It's just, look at it. It's really cool.